So your route into arboriculture is rather unique. What made you change career?
It was very unplanned actually. When I resigned from the police, I took some time out in Cornwall and ended up watching Countryfile, and I saw a tree climber, Jess Herbert, on Countryfile speaking about the industry, and I was very much like, what is this? What is this? And I read about it, went on the internet, and it was like, this is what I want to find out more about. Not necessarily I want to do it, I want to find out more about it before I make a commitment as such. And I got in contact with some tree surgery companies in Berkshire, and that basically I sent my CV to every single tree surgery company in Berkshire with my cover letter in hope somebody was going to contact me. Bear in mind, I've just come from the police, been in for 10 years, and for me, I felt, what have I got? What certificates, what qualifications? I don't have any. But then I also remember I've got other skills that I've got from other roles as well, which I think was really important. Doing risk assessments, dynamic risk assessments. As soon as I come on site, I'm able to see certain things that some other people wouldn't be able to see. If we go on certain areas, I kind of can go, oh, let's keep all the kit in one area, or, you know, just being mindful of where we are and everybody else. You know, just using those. Some of it's just common sense, but I think when you've lived a little bit of life, you know exactly what to look for straight away without, you know, not necessarily having a police background or having those skills. I think just life skills in general come into this job really well.
So what in arboriculture do you really like doing, and what do you dislike?
I think there isn't really, the only thing I dislike is, like with anything, if it's a massive job, it goes on for 2 or 3 days, it's the same site, you know, it does get monotonous. But the positive with that, when you're at the same site for a long period of time, is you get to know the site, you get to know all the risks, you get to know everything when you're there, instead of it just being a few hours and you're there and you go. Negative is when it's really, really, really hot. In the 40s, if you've got no shade and it's just open and you have no toilets, and you know, it's a matter of, it is real graft. It's blood, sweat and tears, and I'm not joking when I say that. You've got to have a mindset, I'm here to get this job done, learn as much as I can in that time, but you don't really want to be having jobs going on to 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, so you have to have that stamina to keep going.
How is it working in mixed teams, men and women?
I've always worked in mixed teams, not just in this role, but in every role that I've done. It's not an issue with this company that I'm working for, with Primary Tree Services. It's not an issue. I have in the past had issues, but a lot of it is about proving your worth. Unfortunately, it's still about that, and it's about kicking around, not being scared to do certain things, and just getting really involved as much as the guys. And I don't understand why you wouldn't anyway. Just because you're female, it doesn't mean you can't get as involved as anybody else. The only person that's stopping you from getting involved is yourself. And I get involved in everything, even when I don't need to. I'm always like, what's going on? Can I help? And it's about working as a team. It doesn't matter what somebody's got between their legs. If they need help and you need help, you work together as a team. You have to, because the job will not get done in the end of the day. And it's your wages. It's your wages and cost of living. We don't have that time anymore to be. The closer we can work as a team, the better the job will be.
Making your career change, have you faced any challenges?
I have to say it's depending on what kind of company you're working for, okay, you have commercial companies, you have domestic, you have a mixture, okay. You can have a down period between December and January and February, okay, and that's the truth of it. There's been times where I've gone a month and a half with no work, all right, and if you're self-employed, if you're not working, you're not getting paid. It's as simple as that. And it changes your attitude towards work in general, especially when you realise I can't just go sick, I can't just have a duvet day because I've got bills to pay at the end of the month. And personally, I think everybody should work like that, and I think would have a whole different attitude towards work. If you're not at work, you're not getting paid. You know, I think I do my own accounts at the end of every year. I do take a week out to do that. To be fair, it's as hard as you wanted it to be. If you create barriers in not only in any role, it will be difficult, and it's about being as open as you possibly can be. But like I said, I don't find any difficulties. Maybe my age a little bit, I'm getting older, things are hurting a little bit more, but then I always make sure I compensate with that. When I go home, I spend half an hour every evening stretching and doing some yoga, and people think it's really cliched, but I'm 45 this year and I want to still be doing this like when I'm 60. I do want to still be doing it when I'm 60, and I will be doing it still when I'm 60. Is about looking after the body as much as anything else, because this is your bread and butter. In the end of the day, it's your bread and butter, and we've got to look after it, and we want to the longer we are, the longer the industry goes.
What do you think is most important about your job?
For me personally, it's learn to know, learn to do, learn not only to exist, but learning to really, really live. And that's something that this industry and the women in ARB have given me that opportunity to have.
Have you any long-term goals for your career?
For me, is to get more qualifications via LANTRA. You can be competent, it's being confident. Anybody can pass a test, anybody can read a book, but it's being confident in what you're doing, really confident, and that takes years to get to, and that's where I want to get to, is to build more confidence. I'd like to have a small tree surgery company in Cornwall. I would love to be in a position to get more qualifications, whether it's doing tree surveying, tree inspection. I do actually have a little bit of interest in forensic ecology, but that could come very much in the future when I retire in 80 years' time.
What advice would you give your younger self career-wise?
Now, I don't like to bang on about qualifications, but it is really important, really important. And that's one thing I kicked myself a little bit, was just not getting really stuck into, I don't know what it's called now, GCSEs. Just really just committing yourself down, because as soon as you committed yourself down, the rest is your oyster. You have no more hurdles. You don't have to go, oh damn it, I have to go and redo a GCSE in English or maths or whatever, or science. You've already got that, and that's one thing I wish I did do, was really just spend that time getting my education behind you, because if something does happen to me up that tree, I need a fallback. Luckily, I've been able to have that fallback, but there are some people that just don't have. If something happens, what job are you going to do after? And it's also thinking ahead and thinking if something could happen. But education and getting those fundamental things under your belt, those GCSEs, and then the world will be your oyster.